Hey everyone, I just want to apologize. In this episode, I have a really bad echo. I don't know where it came from. And I tried to get rid of it, but yeah, I just couldn't. So I apologize, but it's a great episode. So if you can bear through it, I appreciate it. And once again, I'm sorry, but I did end up trying to fix it and I got it to work now. So I just don't know what happened there. Some buttons I guess I pressed on my switch. Anyways, none of that bullshit. Again, I'm sorry. It'll be fixed by next one. Thanks.
Now it's time to be dangerous. Now it's time to get risky. Now it's time to truly find out what you're made of and what you could achieve. Now it's time to truly find out how many lives you can impact. Now it's time to find out what you were destined to become.
Welcome to Raw Minds. I'm your host, Eric, and today we bring you a story that's real, rough, and honest. The kind of story that reminds you what it means to fall and still rise. Some of you might know my guest from the old headlines. They called him the Road Rage Rabbi, a man fighting bipolar disorder in silence, a leader breaking down while the world watches. Life hit him hard, and everything he built came crushing down. But that's the part I respect. He didn't stay down. He didn't run. He rebuilt his life from the inside out. Today, Alfredo is a life coach, a guide, and a man living with purpose. He helps run the Purpose program, helps people find hope, meaning, and strength, the same thing that he had to find for himself. He's living proof that the hardest moments can open the door to the real mission. This is the heart of Raw Minds, real pain, real healing, real men standing back up. And before we jump in, please make sure to comment, share, follow. All of it helps. His story reaching out to someone who may need it, maybe someone we'll never meet. And let's get into it. And I just want to say welcome to Raw Minds, Alfredo.
Hi, Erick.
And hi, man. Appreciate you.
Hi, man. Actually, we know each other. We've been talking a lot about life. I know your story, my story. And
Yes.
We have a great connection, and I think that connection is going to bring some wisdom to those listening.
Definitely. I took your program at the Purpose. I can hear myself. Is it coming through your head, your computer there? You're okay?
Great.
Okay, perfect. So I took the program. Dogs jumping up on me. The program. The Purpose. Sorry, got messed up. My dog's just jumping on me. And it's amazing. It's amazing. It actually made me want to start my life coaching. And how I want to start that. And it just kind of blew my mind just reading right through just from that one questionnaire that I had to do. And what I found out about myself is just amazing.
Yeah.
But before we start, I just want you to plug all your stuff for everybody, please, so they know how to find you.
Well, what I share with you, Erick, is what is called the VIA, the values in action, which is the main instrument of what we call positive psychology, which is a psychology of what works. For 100 years, psychologists have been studying trauma, neurosis, psychosis, depression. And in 1998, the president of the Association of Psychologists, American Psychologists, he challenged all the psychologists at the annual conference. And he said, why don't we also study what works? Motivation, resilience, happiness, optimism. And since 1990, it has been an explosion of research and journals and articles on the well-being like we never had before. And that's called positive psychology. And that's what I do, the science of flourishing. And what I gave you, Erick, is what is called the VIA, the values in action, which give you a map of how you use the 24 character strengths of positive psychology. There are 24 character strengths, and you learn them and you use the top 5, then you can flourish by knowing them only, just by knowing them 9 times more. And if you apply your top 5 strengths, 18 times more. And what makes me crazy and sad is that studies show that 70% of Americans, and I would say Canadians too, not only the US, but in our kind of societies, 70% of people are unaware of the top character strengths, which means that in your family, in the place you work, if you walk around, 7 out of 10 people are going through life 9 to 18 times below what they could achieve.
Crazy.
It's amazing, yes? And when I took mine, just to give an example to those listening, my top 5 were creativity, love of learning, curiosity, perseverance, and bravery. And in the worst times of my life, when I really went really down, when I looked at my top 5 strengths, I came back. They gave me the strength I needed to find myself and go forward. Then the first thing that I will tell your audience is I want to explain all this carefully, but just to lower anxiety about what my top 5 strengths are, which everybody should know, I will tell your audience how to get them. And what they need to do, and I know that we're live, people are watching now, then take your phone and text the word positive to 33777. It's as easy as that. Take your phone and text positive to 33777, and what you're going to get are chart with the 24 character strengths of positive psychology, a couple of questions through which you are going to be able to determine your top 5. And then I'm going to share with you a couple of exercises by which you can apply them and go to 9 to 18 times flourishing. Okay, then we should just from this let go and end the epidemic of strength blindness going around. Then that's what I will tell those listening, and own your strengths. Easy. That's basically, there is also there a calendar for those who want to talk with me one-on-one with no compromise, just to explore. My website is no other than positive, okay, no surprises, AlfredoBorodowski.com. And there you will see my upcoming book and workshops, and etc. And it's good that we move this out of the way, then now we can concentrate on dialogue and content, and let's go there.
Well, I just want to talk really actually about your book coming up.
Yes, I have a new book coming up. I think the plan is launching in March, and the title of the book is The Human Upgrade, the New Leadership for the AI Revolution. What I do on this book is the application of all this science of positive psychology, of flourishing, motivation, resilience, opportunity, hope, applied to the transition we are experiencing now, the rapid, crazy transition into AI at companies, which is being great in generating efficiency, but at the same time, we are beginning to notice a tremendous increase on anxiety, depression, and uncertainty.
Would you say laziness too?
No, laziness, no. Anxiety.
No, but you say laziness also?
No, I think that the opposite. I think that people are working like crazy to prove themselves, against the machines.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, what we are seeing is more burning out of stress. Then in general, clearly there are some people who are taking advantage of the technology and having a good time. But what we see is that people feel insecure, uncertain, and anxious, and with depression. And then the book and my consulting help companies to go through the transition of AI by keeping their humanity. Okay, the human component. Okay, and at the end of the day, the human is going to become a luxury, scarce, and what is scarce is valuable. Then the human connection is going to become, unfortunately, out of having less and less of it, of higher and higher value. And the companies who are smart and work on the human component of themselves are going to come ahead of the others, offering people that human connection that other companies only relying on technology will not have.
Kind of like the generation coming up. And that's what they're saying is like there's a big divide about this generation because you got kids that grow up with the cell phones and all this, you know what I mean? And they're stuck inside all the time that they don't have the communication, like the face-to-face communication.
It's a paradox, but at the same token, the Gen Z, the young generation, is showing higher levels of spirituality
Mm-hmm.
than people over 40. They're showing much higher levels of social responsibility. They are a generation that wants to connect work to purpose. They want to connect work to meaning. They're beginning to disregard titles, Ivy League universities as the goal of life, and beginning to think about having a productive life. And they don't buy into titles, like I said, and things like that. Okay. Then I have a tremendous respect for the upcoming generation. And I do believe that given the opportunity, they will do great things. I work with a lot of startup companies with young people. They want me to talk about core values. They want to, I work with I am a member of organizations like Light DAO, which is an organization of young entrepreneurs, very well, top of the most successful ones, and they organize themselves to create a socially conscious entrepreneurship, and they are growing like crazy, and they're having centers all over the world, okay, which we didn't see that so much in older generations. Then actually I am an optimist. I think that what's coming, I see all the problems of social media, but I think we are seeing a new generation with the promise of a better world.
Well, let's hope so. I was hopeful because I would think you're at home on the computer all day or in your phone, you know what I mean? You don't have that face-to-face contact, so then it's harder to be out there in the real world when you're dealing with real people.
It's true, but by the same token, they're very aware of the needs of humanity. Yeah. They're very aware of they're socially conscious, and it comes a point a point in life where they begin seriously to think about how to invest in their time and resources. I see that also happening.
Yeah. I mean, it weighs itself out, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. At the same time. I do want to say, so can you let us know where it all started? The beginning of your journey here?
Yes, people may be surprised to know. Look, I never thought about becoming an expert in positive psychology. And the main reason is because I had it all and I had achieved all basically my goals. Then I never thought about positivity because I was living it. And at that point in life, people may be surprised. I was a rabbi of one of the largest and most prestigious congregations in the United States. Among my congregants, I had CEOs of companies like MetLife and Prime Media and Times. I had half of Wall Street and senior partners of the best firms in Manhattan. They were all my congregants. I had an office also, in facing Central Park. Coming from middle class in Argentina, growing up in Argentina, and then now having an office in the morning, having coffee, putting my feet on the desk and watching through the window Central Park, I made it. And I made it big, Eric, until basically I lost everything in an instant. On the morning of June 19th, 2013, when I was arrested. A few months before that, a congregant of mine called me to the side, and he said, Rabbi, I have something special for you. He was a retired detective, and he gave me a small replica of his badge that policemen give to friends and family. I don't think they have it in Canada, by the way.
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
far I know.
And I had lecture consulting all over the world, and they don't exist anywhere else, as far as I can tell from my experience in the United States, the country of equality and everybody the same under the law. Policemen are giving replicas of the badges to friends and family to tell them you have no problem with it, knowing that it is used to get out of trouble when you break the law. Wonderful, yes?
Definitely.
Wonderful practice. But I was manic at that point. Was having mania, tremendous mania, undiagnosed. I didn't know about it. And I went to a psychiatrist and I lied. I said that I had depression. Because, people with mania love it. You have endless energy, you lose weight, you don't sleep and get things done, 1,000 projects at the same time. Then I went to my psychiatrist and said, I am depressed, give me an antidepressant. Then I had mania. I was taking the wrong medication and a badge. And one morning I went through a stop sign and a policeman stopped me. I showed the badge and he said, sir, keep going. And at that moment, I assumed the identity. I said, I am part of the club here. And I assumed the identity of a policeman and I began patrolling the street of New York, the highways of New York, telling people how to drive, showing my badge. Okay. Until one morning on June 19th, I showed it to a lady on her 20s. She made a phone call and 20 seconds later, Eric, I had 3 patrols behind me. They stopped me, they handcuffed me and took me to the precinct. They took me then to court and I was accused of impersonating a police officer, which is a tremendous felony, really bad.
Yeah.
And the press immediately caught on my story. I was a rabbi of a very prestigious congregation in a very wealthy area of Westchester. And like you said, they baptized me the Road Rage Rabbi, and I went viral. Erick, front pages of newspapers on Japan and Ireland. Now, crazy, yes. I did wrong.
Yeah.
I did wrong, very wrong, but I didn't touch anybody, no violence. But, it was a good circus story. And I went into deep depression. And my lawyer said for 8 months, we cannot do anything because the police wants to make you into a case. And now the DA is not willing to give an inch. And I went into depression for 8 months on a sofa in fetal position, darkness, obscurity, until one morning I felt that energy lifting me up from the couch and taking me upstairs to my office. And I got to my office and I saw on my desk something. I had no clue how I got there. I took it and I opened it. Was a file with the results of the VIA that I share with people. And I read my top 5 strengths: creativity, love of learning, curiosity, perseverance, and bravery. And a month later, with depression, with court cases, I had 4 court cases. I went back to school to become a social worker, all with the power of my 5 top strengths of positive psychology. I did great at school, the highest grades. I was awarded the highest honor of the most inspirational and great leadership of all my classmates.
Good for you.
And I thank you. And I said, I need to share with the world the power of positive psychology. And I began consulting at companies. And, I just came back for 4 weeks in South America, and Argentina, and Chile. I gave 4 workshops to top executives. I gave at least 10 lectures all about resilience, motivation, and, and to transform your life through positive psychology and your strengths.
What was your mindset going through that? Like up until that point where you got lifted?
No, I was surviving. Nothing. I was in obscurity. I was
Fight or flight
paralyzed.
kind of shit.
Paralyzed.
Yeah.
I remember, I was in misery. Yeah. I wrote an autobiography that I never published, maybe someday, and I said that there is an obscurity that is absence of light, is what is not, absence. And there is another obscurity which is an existence. It's not an absence, but exists. It has substance to it. You can touch it. It's like tar. Tangible. It's like tar. It's dense. You can almost touch it, and I could feel that. An obscurity that really was like molasses, like, trap you like quicksand. That was devouring me. That feeling that you cannot even move. That's real. That's real depression. It's not just feeling sad. It's a pit, and it was a long time there.
And so, you were just on the couch, you said? And then you just got this feeling?
Basically on the couch, doing the minimum and doing things that actually made me feel worse, like reading emails where I see my friends getting, new positions, new jobs, new lectures, looking how the world was passing by and going ahead, and I was stuck in nowhere. Masochistic. You do that.
Very
Very
alone too.
alone
You
too.
feel
You
very
feel very
alone, right?
right? It's not that
And then all of us no, but I mean all of a sudden you just felt this like I felt like I've been there before, you know what I mean? Like I get these like boosts of energy almost, you know what I mean? Like I'm in a dark place dealing with depression. I know what it's like. It's hard to get out. It's hard to get out of your bed.
Yeah, I mean,
when you're dark like that.
You feel alone because it's an existential condition that cannot be explained. It's beyond articulation. It's purely.
I just want to stop you there. I'm just getting major feedback. I just want to fix this real quick because I can hear myself coming through. So give me a second here.
Absolutely.
Sorry, guys, just bear with us. And there you go. Hopefully that fixes it.
How do you hear yourself?
No, I can still hear myself coming through.
Well, love yourself.
That's okay.
You're hearing yourself. Love yourself.
Exactly.
Okay?
So I'll try to fix it when I edit it. But I mean, if it doesn't, too bad. People, you gotta listen to it.
I don't hear it. By the way, Erick.
Okay.
Then maybe you hear it yourself, but not as far as I can tell on air. It's not.
Oh no, I had someone messaged me in the chat there and say that they can hear me. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try to fix it after. If not, it is what it is, people.
Then I was telling you about loneliness. I was alone because the depression is a condition that in itself isolates you and disconnect you from the world. But I was alone at a different level. Most of my friends, everywhere where I was fired from my work. Okay. Most of my friends, I had engagements to teach and to lecture all over. Everything was canceled. People began stop because I was diagnosed bipolar. I forgot to say that I was hospitalized ultimately and diagnosed bipolar. Then I was accused of impersonating a police officer, bipolar, all over the Road Rage Rabbi. I mean,
did that work in your favor though? Because you were diagnosed with bipolar?
No, the opposite. The press began talking about me making excuses.
Really?
Yes, he using bipolar to get off the case. Yeah. Okay, I am choosing to whatever. It's like I see it as history now and as a way to become more resilient and wise. But it was loneliness also because, look, I was completely rejected from all the circles where I was giving a message and teaching and finding purpose, and all that was gone overnight. I mean, when I was arrested and my name appeared on NPR, the public radio the next day, I began getting basically email after email of cancellation of everything I had programmed for the year. And a week later, I was fired. And then, because I was a political rabbi, I began seeing the email after email about, I am not surprised when he did the confirmation of my daughter, he wasn't friendly to my cousin.
So then
when people who I've even never seen before, somebody told me this and that. All these emails were going like crazy about myself from people who I couldn't identify.
Yeah, insane, man. These are people that are supposed to stand by you. I mean,
there are people who stood by me. Many people from my congregation stood by me. And people who knew me stood by me, and I had a lot of personal friends, and my family, my wife and my kids kept me alive. But it was a lot of gossip. Like it.
I hear you. And how did that probably just messed up your mental health too, right?
Well, I was hospitalized at least a couple of times. When I was fired, I went to a suicidal mode. And I had to be hospitalized. But I was the happiest person when I was diagnosed bipolar.
Really?
It was a celebration for me.
Oh, I guess.
And I know this may surprise people. But for me, was giving a name and a framework to what that until that time I felt I had, but I couldn't articulate. Now I could read articles about it. I could talk about it for, ultimately for NAMI, the National Association for Mental Illness. Then I became, part of their speakers program. Then I could talk with other bipolars. I could go on social media to bipolar groups. Like doctors could give me the right medication. Then for me, diagnosis. I know that for some people, they try to escape it, to run away from diagnosis. For me, was a gift.
Can you hear me okay? Is my audio coming in?
A little bit low, like the volume is a little bit down.
How about that? Is that better?
Much better,
Okay.
Erick.
Okay.
So after that, these programs that you went through, can you tell us how that went? How your experience went through that?
The programs at the hospitals or the program of a university?
When you after you got out all that, and you started the purpose and
Yes,
all that
yes,
stuff.
yes. I've been a consultant to companies for a long time using the Myers-Briggs, which is a personality instrument. And I had a chance many years ago to begin consulting to startup companies to put in the best teams. Then I had some experience, and then I went into positive psychology, and I got my executive coach certification, and I began connecting with groups of consultants that mastermind, which is a group of consultants, of people who are helping each other learn and go forward. And I got into a great group and began learning and going to boot camp and consulting camp and speakers camp and getting certifications in all those fields and writing my own blog. And little by little, I began consulting and finding my niche, which is peak performance through purpose and positivity. And that's what I do. Now I'm beginning to focus with the book on the AI challenge. And I began already, I published my book in March, and I already began the research for the next one, which is going to be on opportunity, okay, which is I think what I am now beginning to explore. I work half of the time in South America. I am from Argentina, and half of the time I work here in the States. Then, I get the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, I do want to ask you here. What is the biggest thing that people misunderstand about transformation? Since that you've transferred, you've had your transformation.
Yes, I can give you a couple of things. One is that they believe that transformation happens from the outside to the inside, and transformation happens from the inside to the outside. Okay, then when people ask you, I am waiting for time to change things, or I'm waiting for an opportunity. Actually, that's not the most efficient way to do things. What we know today from science, that first you visualize where you want to go, and then you manifest it. The work begins inside, and reality begins in the brain, and then manifests itself in the world. We have a system which is called the reticular system in the brain. When people buy a red car, and then they tell you, I was driving that morning, I saw everybody had a red car.
Yeah.
Okay, that happened to you, something like that?
Oh, yeah, when I bought a CRX, I saw all these CRXs everywhere.
Well, the reality is that the CRXs were there before. Then why do you see them now? Reality didn't change.
It's because you're more conscious because you're driving that, I guess, right?
Right, because you told to your reticular system in the brain to focus and filter out other cars and see CRX. Then imagine you were able to train your reticular system to focus on filtering out the negative and focus on the positive. We have that ability.
That's like the book in the movie Secret.
I haven't seen that.
But you got to, that's what it is. It's like, well, here's a great example. I've said it many times on the show. Jim Carrey, the actor, he wrote a check to himself, $1 million, and then he put it on the fridge. And he would walk by it all the time and be like, I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm gonna be a millionaire. And then he became a millionaire. And it was because of.
Okay, that's I had to watch the movie clearly,
No, that's
Eh,
not the
That's
secret.
not the secret.
The secret is
The
just
secret is
about
just
that.
about that.
It's about,
Okay.
manifesting.
Manifesting.
Okay, then we know about manifestation, and it's a word very much used, but we need to understand that this is not a feeling good. This is science. We know that there is what is called a reticular active system. Okay, I'm a scientist. I do positive psychology, science. I am not a motivator, or I every time I go to do personal coaching or go to a company, I do a full diagnostics, using the best instruments out there. Okay, and if you see my book on the human upgrade, you will see at the end 100 of studies I have used for every inspirational thing I write. Then now we know that beyond the inspiration, the reticular active system by which the brain filters the negative, it filters what you want them to, and see what you tell the brain to see is a reality. Then opportunities don't present themselves to us. Opportunities are seen by certain people because they program their brain to see them where other people don't. Okay,
Yeah.
then that's the first thing I would say, work on the inside. The second thing I would say is that we need to move from a culture of fixing to a culture of nourishing. And that's what I work a lot at company. When you have a leak at your basement, a pipe burst, and you call a plumber, the plumber will stop the leaking, will not improve the pipe, will restore the pipe to the situation where it was before. That's fixing.
Mhm.
That's not nourishing. Nourishing is the cultivation of something to achieve excellence or work towards excellence. And since children, we were programmed for fixing and not for nourishing. You went to school and they always focus on the one subject you didn't do well,
Yeah.
instead of cultivating and nourishing what you liked and excel at. Then we are programmed to be around the world fixing others and fixing ourselves, thinking that we are developing and achieving our potential, and it's an illusion. And more we try to fix somebody, more resistance we find from somebody else. Then I see managers doing it all the time. They have those reviews, and the first thing they begin to talk is about what's not working. When we know from science that the only way for a person to achieve excellence is to encourage what works and give the person the confidence to become the best they can through their top strengths. Then that's why I tell, when you take the VIA, look at your top strengths. Do not look at your weaknesses at the bottom, which is what most people do.
They want to fix
Okay.
their weaknesses.
Exactly. They think that that's where there is space for growth, in what is weak. But in what you are strong, actually, there is no ceiling to the strong. It goes forever. Now, you can, by the way, if you're taking the VIA and people are going to take it, you can look at one of your bottom ones, one only that you say you want to work on it and develop it. That's fine. But your main concentration has to do not on fixing the bottom one, but on nourishing and being excellent and what you are good at. That's the key.
Well, I think that if you ignore the things that you're good at, and work on the stuff that you're not good at, you're now neglecting your strengths, which is going to start coming down. You know what I mean?
I
Instead of
know,
raising
but
yourself up.
unfortunately, we are taught we are in automatic pilot to be
Yeah.
fixing, because it gives you immediate satisfaction. You think that you're improving things, but you're not. Okay, you're not. You are actually bringing things back to their original state instead of bringing them into excellence. And it takes me, Eric, a lot of work to change the culture of teams and organizations or corporations, to move them from fixing to nourishing. I go there and they say, no, we are not fixers, we are nourishers. We here work on strengths. And after 2 minutes of being there, that's not the way they work, because that's not the way they were taught since childhood.
Well, on that note, then, what is positive? God, I can't even speak right now.
Positive psychology.
Look like in real life. not just textbook.
I mean, it looks in real life that you're in control of what is best in you. You can apply it purposely. Okay. It's like having a toolkit. Okay. That you go through life. Imagine if you do not know what is in the toolkit. Now you have the toolkit of the best in you, and you can cultivate it, explore it, maximize it. As I mentioned, you can, by knowing it, you have the chance of 9 times of more potential, and by applying 18 times. Okay, then who doesn't want to know their toolkit of strengths? And you already have them. You can cultivate in when you know them, but Erick, you already have them. It's opening the eyes.
It's just a matter of seeing them.
Exactly, uncovering it, revealing them. It's like some people ask me, what's your main job, Alfredo? When you go to corporations or to teams, I say, I am an optometrist. An optometrist of corporations. I, open the eyes to what the gift they already have, but through years of fixing and telling people what's wrong with them, they were not given the chance to appreciate the best in them.
Nice. And you know what? And like I said, I took this, like the first part of it, right? And it changed my life. Like I told you, that's what inspired me to want to become a life coach in grief.
Look, when people take it, I have given it hundreds of times to private clients. People take it, and I ask them, what is the first emotion you felt when you saw your top 5 strengths? And I feel legitimate, energized, motivated. Wow, that's me. I knew I had them, but I needed confirmation. I feel validated. I mean, those are the expressions I hear. I don't hear anybody saying, some people say, that's me. Some people say, oh, I am surprised. And some people say, that's not me. And then we explore further to see, who you are. But the point is that you begin the exercise of seeing yourself.
And I say, take the leap. I took the leap, and it truly changed me. I was in a position of what do I want to do? I don't want to do construction anymore. I want to find what I want to do. I met you. Did this program, and the day I read it, a light bulb just popped in my head and be like, this is what I want to do.
And by the way, that were 2 meetings. This is not a 6 months process, by the way. It were 2 meetings. And now, we got to work on purpose. And purpose is defined in positive psychology as giving the best of yourself for the benefit of others.
Yes.
And once, Erick, you find the best of yourself, and you find that through knowing your strengths, and you know how to apply it for the benefit of others, then you get fulfillment. Not success. You get fulfillment, because success usually brings to emptiness, because it's about external things. That's why a lot of successful people come to me with this sense of emptiness. No, what you need is purpose to fulfillment, and success will come out of it. But success is going to come based on an alignment between the best of you.
For me, that's what fills my bucket. This is what's going to fill my bucket. And it's going to spill over to help other people. You know what I mean? I'm going to have too much water in my bucket. And I just want to give it to everybody to help them. And that's what the purpose did to me. It made me find that the reason, my purpose, I guess you could say.
I think the bucket is a great analogy. It was a great, I come from a doctorate in philosophy. That was my original. I have a PhD in philosophy. And, we have Plotinus, was a philosopher who said the cosmos is like fountains with different bases. And then the water comes from the top, and from one basin falls to the next, and falls to the next, and falls to the next, and fills all of them.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what purpose is. You have a motivation at the top that flows, feels something, and like you said, spills over others and others and others, and you do not lose anything by doing it, because every basin still full as they spill into the next.
If anything, you gain.
Yes.
You gain. You gain good people around you, you gain knowledge, you gain happiness and fulfillment. And then
Absolutely.
success.
Yes. The most valuable things are not scarce.
Yeah.
Okay, love, gratitude, motivation, if you know how to align them with your purpose, they never run out. And we need to understand that we should not have fear of losing what is most precious, because the gift of life is that the most precious is infinite. But we live under the illusion of material things which are finite, and we use the finite mind in all of our existence when the things of the greatest value never end.
What did you say? That my night?
My night, you said?
We use the things, I didn't say my night, but I have a thick accent.
Yeah, no,
and
that's
it's
okay.
fast.
That's okay.
I
No,
talk
you're good.
fast. No, I mean finite. I said the
Okay.
finite. There's the
Okay.
finite. Then there's a paradox. Again, we were taught from childhood that the things we had less of are more valuable. It's money, gold, and then we were raised under what is called the principle of scarcity. That what we have less has more value. And we do not understand that the most valuable things are the ones who are infinite, which are the emotions, the love, and the gratitude that sometimes get corrupted by this scarcity principle that we are so convinced about.
Kind of, I guess you could say, when the pandemic happened, the last one, COVID, and toilet paper. You know, people are going crazy over toilet paper. And there was like a couple left on the shelves, and people are literally fighting each other. Right? And that's what you're saying, scarce like that. You know what I mean? It's going away.
Yeah,
So
but
it's kind of like that.
Doesn't matter what pandemic comes. In the world of the emotions, gratitude, love, resilience, optimism, those are inextinguishable. They are not subject to the principle of scarcity. What happens is that, yes, sometimes we treat everything like toilet paper, everything like running out of it. And we, in the domain of emotions and the spirit, we had the gift of the endless. And sometimes
do you think, and some people may argue this, but like love is scarce because of the world that we live in now. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to find true love now. Would you say that would be scarce though?
No, love is scarce because we don't practice it.
Okay.
And we make it scarce, finite. Yeah. We make it, okay, but in essence, is not. We make it. 93% of people at the workplace say that they want to express gratitude to somebody else in the workplace. Only 10% do it.
Why is that?
Then 83% of people who could express gratitude to somebody else do not do it. Why? Because they feel that at work, that's touchy feeling, they start crazy, surviving every day, they're under pressure, they're running like crazy, and we know that gratitude is one of the greatest motivators and energizers that we have.
Yeah.
Okay? Then it's not that there is no gratitude. We don't exercise. The emotions and the spirit are to be exercised to exist and touch people. They are there. We have absolute capability, and we waste the opportunities.
We waste them, you said?
Yes.
I agree, 100%.
100%.
I agree.
I
mean, as human beings, I think that we're just still learning how to be nice, you know, and do this gratitude.
I think that being nice and being happy and being positive are not natural to the human. We know that.
Yeah.
Okay? It's not our natural predisposition.
Yeah, we used to be angry and like if you think back in the day, and very fear. I mean, there's bigger animals out there that was going to eat us, you know? So, yeah.
The negativity is the natural condition of the brain. And if you want to be positive and you want to be happy, you have to work for it.
Yeah, you got to fight that and bring down that wall.
Yes. Happiness is an intention. Happiness and flourishing are expressions of an intention, and you have to work for it. Okay? Again, you cannot wait for things to happen to you. You have to intentionally seek them and build them. That's why you need your strengths, by the way, because you don't know your character strengths. You don't have the tools to do it. You see, it's all full circle. Okay, we are capable. We don't know the tools. We cannot achieve it, but we need to work for flourishing. It's not the natural state of the human. I mean, the Bible, for those who are religious and for those who are not, even as a book of wisdom, the Bible says very clearly, we are negative from youth. Okay, we know that's, for a variety of reasons. You mentioned some of them because we come from survival. Okay, and to be negative is a mechanism of defense good for survival. Then we were competing for a bear or a tiger during the cave times, and now we are thinking that I have a bigger car that goes 10 miles faster than yours, and I'm going to catch life better than you are, or my bigger house is like the bigger spear I had during the cave times to get me the bear before you. Then in some ways, on what is called the amygdala, the primitive part of the brain, we still function in that way. And the only way to get out of that cycle is with intention and working your character strengths. One of the ways.
I think that we could all use that, especially right now in this world.
Yes.
Everything going on.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, it is getting at the end of here, brother. So I just want to say, can you please plug out all your stuff again?
Yes. If you want to know your top character strengths, just text me the word positive at 33777, and you're going to get the 24 character strengths chart, a couple of questions that are going to help you determine your top 5, and a couple of activities that will help you to increase your potential 9 to 18 times. And if you want to learn more about what my book is coming out and my seminars, and set just a meeting to get to know each other, go to my website, Positive AB for Alfredo Borodowski, positiveab.com. Very easy.
And that'll be all in the description. So you guys will be able to see that in the description. I just want to say, first off, I'm really sorry about my audio. I can hear it in the background. I'm going to have this fixed for next one. I'll try to fix it in the edits there. But I just want to say sorry, and I appreciate everybody listening. And Alfredo, man, I mean, I can't thank you enough for you reaching out, and being on the podcast, and also the back stuff that we're doing with the purpose and changing my life, man. So I just want to say thank you for that. And everybody, you guys should try the purpose. Get a hold of Alfredo. Invest in yourself. I'm telling you, it's going to change you. It changed my life. How I think about myself, where I want to go in life now, my purpose. That's why it's called the purpose. So check it out. It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. How many pages does it give it? When
you take the, I suggest first to do the VIA, okay, and then what I do next, I give the purpose factor, which is the latest. It's only 3 months old. I am one of the founding certificate licensed people, one of the first 100 people to be licensed on this new instrument called the purpose factor that maps your purpose. It's the first one of its kind, and it gives you 50 pages of your purpose. 50 pages of your purpose is unique. But then first we determine what your strengths are, and then we go into your purpose. And when we put strength and purpose together, wow, then that's a powerful combination.
I mean, just our two meetings, man, it's kind of blown me away that we started. I'm excited to push on when I can push on. I'm excited to go forward more and figure out everything else, man, and more my purpose.
We will. I am committed.
100%. Me too, brother. And I just want to say, Alfredo, you're a friend now, man. I appreciate you. And we'll be doing some work in the back, in the offline here. So.
Thank you so much, Erick. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And once again, thank you for coming to Raw Minds. I appreciate it. Your story is exactly what Raw Minds is built. This is, from pain to purpose. And there it is, man. So I really appreciate it. So thank you again.
Yeah, the bottom line, do not seek pain. Pain will find you.
Yeah.
But once it finds you, did by finding wisdom out of it.
That's a great way. Great ending to the show, man. Perfect. Well, Alfredo, thank you. Everybody, thank you listening. Thank you guys. And we'll see you guys next week.
next week.
Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.